I just had a terrible thought. What if all this is a dream? Quick, before you wake up, go to patreon.com/WhatSaysCastProductions. For less than the cost of a vacation, you can support our show. Bonus episodes, early access, and exclusive content, just for you. You have to be dreaming to get deals this good. Again, that's patreon.com/WhatSaysCastProductions. You're gonna need 3 hands to handle this one.
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world.
4 kids to feed, 3 boobs to see, 2 weeks of vacation, and the one and only After Credits Cast, the only film podcast on the Recall's Top 100 Vacation Memories. Book it today, and we'll ensure you get first-class seats next to my friends, Ryan Melindors.
Hi, I'm sleazy and demure.
We got, I had to shorten the name a little bit, Richie Nelson.
Okay.
For Richter, yeah.
Yep. I was trying to follow there. Yep.
And because there was nothing else that fit, I am Aaron Wessesquade.
Quaid.
Open your mind.
I can't wait to talk about that part, by the way.
Yeah, those mutants were a little interesting. I'll say that. The intro song for this episode is, of course...
A Whole New World, performed by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Which, of course, the editor will have put in for me, and I will appreciate them for catching that one, because good on you. Good on you. You can also follow us on various platforms down below. It includes Patreon, YouTube, Acast, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, so much more. You can Google us, you can find us. You can find us a lot easier than you can find the Iowa Film Critic Association, that's for sure. You can also email us directly. Ryan, what is
that email is blondesarenothingbutTrouble at your... Excuse me. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
I'll make a note of that and make sure that Amanda is aware of your anti-blonde sentiments. Okay. Yeah, so today we're doing another movie from 1990. We're actually wrapping up the year of 1990. Sort of. Next week you get something that's not 1990 but related to the 90s. It's weird. It's a weird year, okay? It's weird. We're doing Total Recall, directed by Paul Verhoeven, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and written by Ronald Schussel and Dan O'Bannon, inspired by the short story We Can Remember It For You Wholesale by Philip K. Dick. The film grossed a total of $261 million, which is about 4 times what it cost.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it had a budget behind it, that's for sure. The cast includes a few names that you might be familiar with, including Dean Norris, Alexia Robinson, David Nell, Rosemary Dunsmore, Ray Baker, Roy Brocksmith, Michael Champion.
These names are insane. Ironside.
Dude, Michael Ironside's my dude. I love him.
Mel Johnson Jr., Marshall Bell, Michael Ironside, Ronnie Cox, Sharon Stone, Rachel Takatin, and, of course, last but certainly not least, Arnold.
The governor himself.
Mm-hmm. The governor himself.
This is peak Arnold movie.
7 awards, which include the Academy Award for special effects or special
Makes
achievement in
sense.
visual effects. Again, don't know if that award means anything anymore, but we'll see. 2020 Award for Best Visual Effects, 2 Saturn Awards for Best Sci-Fi Film and Best Costumes, a BMI Film Music Award for Jerry Goldsmith, and 2 Golden Reel Awards for Best Sound Editing for Dialogue and Sound Editing for Sound Effects.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. And then I'll turn the desk over to Ryan.
All right, well,
for
we
some fun
have
facts.
3 of them, much like our 3-breasted hooker, Mary. She was originally supposed to have 4 breasts, but the producers thought it looked too much
Too
like
many.
cow's udders. Actress Lacia Naff says she found the experience of playing Mary quite humiliating, as if she had exposed her real breasts. She says that her smile on screen was only on the surface, and she was near tears during the shoot, unfortunately. She found the whole thing so degrading that she refused to do any publicity for the movie, even turning down a shot on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. But the character became so popular that they brought her back with a new actress for Total Recall 2012.
So I want to pause here, because it's going to be a question I think I asked later, but I want to just ask now. Have y'all seen the reboot, and is it any good?
I refuse to because this one is perfect.
It's not that I abjectly refuse to. It's just I've never felt the need to check it out. I wouldn't mind taking a look at it, but especially after watching this one, I don't know how you make it better. If anything, it's gonna be worse because they're gonna take it too serious, I think.
Yep.
I'd be curious to find out myself.
We might have to visit.
I'll probably watch it at some point. Yeah.
All right. Well, next up on our fun facts, Arnold Schwarzenegger suffered several hand-related injuries during the shoot. When filming the scene where Quaid smashes a train window, a tiny explosive in the glass was supposed to shatter it, but a fraction of a second before Schwarzenegger struck it. But it did not go off, and Schwarzenegger hit the glass for real, badly cutting himself. I feel like I actually caught that. I think I know exactly the moment they're talking about. But when filming the fight scene inside Quaid's Hilton suite, immediately after Quaid shoots Dr. Edgemar, Schwarzenegger broke a finger on his right hand and had to get a cast fitted. As a result, most of his scenes shot afterwards kept his injured hand off screen. Damn, poor Arnold.
I kind of want to go back and rewatch it just so I can kind of pay attention for when that is. I'm very
There's
curious.
so much stuff
I think I know when it is too,
on
Ryan.
screen, though, that I thought they did a really good job of hiding it, because I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Like, unless the movie would have made a really obvious job of them hiding it, and you would have been like, what are they doing that for? Like, they did a good job masking it.
Okay, final fun fact for the movie. Scripts for Total Recall in 1990 had been kicking around Hollywood so long that people thought the project was jinxed. Dino De Laurentiis owned the film rights and had tried to get the project off the ground twice in Rome and Australia. Originally, it was less violent and more about the fantasy of taking a trip to Mars. Schwarzenegger was annoyed that De Laurentiis didn't offer it to him because he really wanted the part. Patrick Swayze and Richard Dreyfuss had been in the running to play Quaid, but De Laurentiis ran into money troubles, not for the first time. So Schwarzenegger tried to persuade Carol Cole to bankroll the film, and they bought it off him.
I'm just trying to imagine Richard Dreyfuss in that role. Does not work. I don't think. Swayze might be able to pull it off, though.
Actually made it work. Allegra's been having me watch more of his early stuff when he actually did action. I was just like, holy shit! Okay, I see the appeal.
Whoa. Did she make you watch Roadhouse? Because that is an American
I've
classic.
seen Roadhouse now.
Yes.
The white boy martial artist he was the original.
Oh, dude, he ripping throats. Man, that gets me hyped up. Sorry, we're derailing the podcast here.
I mean,
we need to do Roadhouse, so.
To be fair, we've done that enough times. Some initial thoughts. Actually, it's pretty fun. It's a little dated. I mean, the effects definitely, you could see the age on some. They're not bad, but you could see the age. I would, like I said earlier, I'd be very curious to see how the remake compares to this, like where it shines and where it fails miserably. I assume it fails miserably in a lot of areas, but I'm still curious. I'm still being very fascinated to find out the differences.
All right, Robbie?
Okay. If I'm not me, who am I? Yeah, so Arnold has some classic lines in this movie about his identity, and it cracks me up every time he says that shit. Oh, and his eyes bugging out, and oh my god, all this shit. I have fun every time I watch this movie, and I, like you, Ryan, I hadn't watched it in a while, but I had a absolute blast watching it again. I was so pumped afterwards. Like, it's just so off the wall, bonkers action that is kind of bad, but kind of awesome at the same time. Like, you just have a great time watching it. Like, it's just good fun. And it's a fun sci-fi movie. Like, you're on Mars. I mean, it's a little dated, but like, you can see like how they're trying to look to the future of like planting memories in people's heads and all this stuff. So, just good, clean fun. That's what this movie was.
I mean, I don't know how clean it is, but
I was gonna say.
Well, not in the red light district, but
good
the rest
old
of it.
Venusville. Yeah, no, this is an absolute classic. It is definitely dated, but it's dated in the best way. I can still remember being a kid and having my mind fucking blown by some of this special effects. So for the time, it was definitely pushing the envelope, and I absolutely love it. It could have skated by just being a ridiculous like sci-fi action movie, but the fact that it's actually raising some interesting sci-fi questions from the original author Philip K. Dick, and just constantly in the back of your mind you're wondering, is he actually dreaming? Like this feels too perfect. But, I mean, they keep on bringing up all the things that were going to be in the package originally. And it's so good. It keeps that edge of the sci-fi on top of ridiculous 90s action. So this is a quintessential 90s experience for me. I absolutely love this shit.
Indeed. I have seen, so like the other movie, I have also seen parodies of this, and they colored my expectations for what I was going to see. Not in a negative way by any means, but like I thought I knew how it was going to end, and it kind of didn't end that way. So I was very curious what you guys thought about it. We'll get there when we get there. I have questions for it, for sure. Yes. Are you guys ready for synopsis?
Absolutely. Let's get to it.
Bored of his day-to-day life, the strongest construction worker in the world, Doug, sees an advertisement for a fake vacations implanted into your memories. Not having any concerns about how this will impact his mind, personal life, or future, Doug jumps in with both feet requesting a trip to Mars. They even throw in a package to make him a secret agent. As soon as they flip the switch, he panics and claims that they blew his cover before they shoot him up with enough tranquilizers to knock out an elephant and shove him into a fake Uber. He is sent home and reunites with his wife, who tries to kill him. She reveals that she's been watching over him, and their marriage is a lie. Several men from corporate arrive to apprehend Doug, but he escapes. He is eventually given a recording of himself, going by the name of Hauser, who tells him to go to Mars. I don't know why it says Marks. Go to Mars, connect with the rebels, and destroy the Cohagen Empire. Upon arrival, Doug finds people mutated, the air is manufactured, and life kind of sucks. He also meets a taxi driver, and our only black actor, and Melina, a woman from Doug's dreams. Before long, the doctors from Recall, I don't know why it says Recall, from Recall have entered the dreamscape and offer Doug a pill to bring him out of the Matrix because he's trapped in his dream.
Don't take the red pill.
And outright, he kills him outright and escapes. They escape to Venusville, home to murderous midgets, a resistance, and of course, triple breasted hookers.
Oh my god.
They meet Callisto, leader of the X-Men. Mutants. Whatever. Callisto reads Doug's mind, revealing the purpose of the ancient alien weapon corporate has been lying about and keeping under wraps. Corporate, of course, arrives and fires everyone with guns. Our heroes escape, only for the token actor to betray everyone in the airlock. Before dying, Callisto begs Doug to to start the reactor. Doug and Melina are taken to the CEO, who plays another Hauser Explains video. He reveals Doug's persona is fake to infiltrate the mutants, expose Callisto, and prepare for the arrival of the Sentinels. Wait, I'm mixing up movies here. Anyway, Cohagen orders Doug and Melina to have their minds rewritten, but Doug manages to escape with his muscles to escape. Traitor attacks and then but then is killed pretty quick. They also dispose of the rest of the Cohagen crew. The two leads then get to the reactor where Cohagen has a bomb to stop them. This fails, but opens up the only protection they have from the vacuum of space. Doug manages to get the reactors online just in time before they all suffocate and die. Everyone is saved, and Doug ponders, what this all means and whether or not this is all a dream. But, kisses Melina anyway before fading to credits.
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting T8R. I wasn't ready.
I hate that I put jokes in there like that no one will get except for Ryan and you.
Oh, no. That's amazing.
That's got to pause for a minute on that one. That was great. So what y'all think of the movie?
Mwah. Always a good time to watch this movie.
The amount of different faces Arnold makes when he's either trying to escape the memory machine, or his eyes are going to pop out because he's out in the atmosphere, or when he's the lady suit that he takes off, like all
Get
that
ready
shit just
for a
cracks me up.
surprise!
It's so great. Surprise! Yeah. God damn it! Oh, it's just I just have a great time.
You
every
could tell
time I
the
watch
actors
this.
were having a fucking ball doing this shit.
In a movie like that, that's what you need. You don't take yourself seriously, and you just let it rip.
Well, that's why I like I said last week, Ryan. That's why I like Alfred Molina's response to the whole Spider-Man 3 thing. I like it when actors really love what they're doing, and it seems like everyone here had a great time and loved what they were doing.
Great time. Yes.
Well, minus of course, what's her name? What is that again?
Well, the three boob chick. That kind of sucks.
Leisha Naff, yeah, that she didn't so much have a good time, but everyone else though, everyone else is good.
Yeah.
So, guys, I have a question for you. Who the fuck is Doug Quaid?
A dream.
You're not me. I'm you.
God. Yeah, I think watching this again, I think they play it so close to whether or not Doug Quaid is a real person or if he's or if it's actually Hauser and the whole thing is real. I lean more towards the idea that he actually was Hauser and that this actually was a thing that was happening. And the only reason why is because there are too many things that happen outside of Quaid, quote unquote's point of view, but are still happening for the perspective of the audience. So it feels like we're watching things happen outside of his perspective that wouldn't happen, or at least he wouldn't know to make up those, he wouldn't know to make that part up because he has no idea that it's happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, like, a great scene in this movie is when they have the guy that is saying he's from Recall, you know, I'm planted in your mind to take you out of it. And then you see the tiny sweat drop on his forehead.
Lie.
So for me, that was like, yeah, lie. I'm a real person. This is who I am. Like, that's kind of what I thought with it.
Yeah, like, honestly, he he kind of gives away the game by getting, like, mad when he starts pointing the gun. I think had he played it, like, super cool, and he still, like, listed the whole, like, well, for you, I'll be dead, so you're gonna get lobotomized. But if he actually wasn't there, then there's literally no point in him getting mad. Be like, I want you to survive, dude, but if you do this, that's it for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go home to my wife. You're not. So what do we do here?
If he'd been more chill about it, he probably could have gotten away with that.
It was a good mind fuck. Yeah. It was very good.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So obviously the big elephant in the room is, was this story all a dream or was it real, and why do you think that? So can I just go into my little thing real quick?
Yes.
So I have seen parodies and I have seen spoofs of this. The most famous one, I'm sure Robbie will know this one too, is the Futurama episode where Bender is reprogrammed and is But you see this whole adventure happen until, like, at the very end of the episode where it's like, oh, this is just all in his head. Yep. So at the end of this episode, or this movie, sorry, I honestly thought that they parodied that movie to the point where it's like, okay, so at the end of this, he's going to wake up and realize that none of this really happened, or something like that. But we've been led to believe that this all happened at the same time. And it didn't go to that, so I'm sitting here like, did I miss something, or is that not what's going to happen here? So I honestly, the whole time, expected this to be like just, oh, hey, no, he's going to come out of it and it's going to be a dream. All of it is. That was my interpretation.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if all of this happened and that was a dream, I would be split between thinking that this was the best 1,200 credits I have ever spent and suing the shit out of Recall. Because if I actually went through all of this and was, like, put through, like, death-defying situations time and time again, only to wake up and still be just normal me, I'd be fucking livid. I would not be able to go back.
Yeah, I mean, that experience changes you. They do do a good job of making it so it could go either way. Because, I mean, literally the setup in Recall is he's a secret agent. He designs, Melina, all that stuff. So it could be a dream, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like what Ryan said earlier, like all this stuff happened outside of his worldview for it to happen during that time, that it almost has to be real. But I don't know. I mean, it's a good question.
The other question that brings to mind too, though, if you think about it, so these memories get implanted into him, right? Like that's the gimmick.
Yep.
So, real or not, can he even go back to his house now, to his wife? Because she tried to kill him, and like that shit's not gonna just be like, oh hey, I'm sorry, honey, let's kiss and make up. Like, she tried to kill you. You tried to kill her. You ran away from her. Like, can you go back to that without having any kind of
that's
repercussions?
Straight divorce. No, that's straight up divorce.
No. Yeah.
And the sad
no
part
way
is,
you can look at it
she has nothing to do with it. She's just like, you went there on your own and did that shit. Why are you blaming me for this?
That's true. I mean, that's a whole different thing.
And that's why
like,
a part of me would want to sue them, because, like, literally, I can't go back to normal life after that. Like, too much of my worldview has changed. So, I mean, fuck.
And it's my assumption, just from the way I understand this world, like, you go on this 2-week memory whatever, and it stays with you, right? It's as real as if you lived it, correct?
That's my understanding. Otherwise, what's the point of spending the money on it?
So, like you're saying, Ryan, how the fuck do you go back to anything after that? Like, there's no way you could just go back to your construction job and your wife that, in your eyes, for the past 2 weeks, try to kill you. Like, there's no way.
It kind of reminds me of that video game in the Rick and Morty episode where you play Roy. You just live a life with this dude.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh my god, this guy's taking Roy off the grid. I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not.
But no, it feels just so much like that, because when Morty gets pulled out of it, he's like, wait, where am I? Who am I? Where's my family at? But, like, no, like, that would seriously fuck you up. Like, just... Because what were the other options they had on there? I remember they had Secret Agent. What were the other three that they showed on the
Billionaire
list?
Playboy. I think there was a sports star.
It was a sports...
Yeah,
it was like an athlete, yeah.
Okay. I feel like those would mess you up a little bit less, because, like, with the Secret Agent thing, there's a level of paranoia and a lot of, like, secretive bullshit going on, and, like, a lot of backstabbing that, like, yeah, that is going to be insane. Maybe the billionaire one might be a bit intense, but, I mean, you have money in that, so you're probably going to be fine. But I have to wonder, too, would they all start like they did here? Like, so let's say it was all a dream. And so they all start like that, where you start in the recall center. And then whatever happens there transitions you to your trip at some point. So, like, is that how that works for everybody? Like, do you just suddenly get $1 billion when you leave the recall in that dream, or does it start somewhere else for you?
My guess is that it's something along the lines of, like, you wake up and you're already this different person. But that's also something that makes the Secret Agent one so insidious, because I wouldn't think there was there was no, like, entry period. Like, for him, if this was a dream, it starts off, like, as soon as they hit your neck with the chip, your mind immediately goes, okay, so everything about my life is now a lie, and now people are trying to kill you. Go. It's just like, as opposed to, you fall asleep, you wake up, oh, that's right, I'm the fucking billionaire philanthropist, I'm about to go take a trip, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Man, and if that girl's at the end's not real, then you are missing out on, like, the one thing you want most in life.
Yeah,
that kind of sucks.
That blows my mind, honestly. I think just to go back to this point, but the idea of, like, things happening outside of his perspective, but I think the biggest thing that blew my mind, or at least that pointed to me thinking the Secret Agent bit actually was real, was the fact that after he told his buddy at the construction site that he was thinking about it, and he just went back to jackhammering, the guy stared at him. And you don't see him see it,
Yep.
but he's just staring at him for a couple of seconds. And this is before he even visits Recall. So that was like, okay, it's real. I got it. I'm right there with you.
You know what? That does lend some credence to that one. But like we've said already, though, everything happened so almost too perfectly. Like it's hard to really justify one.
Absolutely.
Or the other,
like they play it so close. Like literally, you can point to the various things that happen in the movie in the moments before he sits down and actually gets the memory implanted. Two-headed monsters, blue sky on Mars, actually pulling up Melina's profile on the screen before actually implanting him. It's just like it's played so close. I personally think it was real, but there's absolutely evidence on both sides.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here because we're kind of on that topic a little bit. Would you take a trip via Recall? Why or why not?
Oh,
No.
man. Absolutely. If I could be a billionaire playboy for 2 weeks, absolutely. Secret agent, not so much.
That's fair.
But live the high life for 2 weeks, you could, like, everything you've ever wanted to do in life that you honestly can't afford, you could do in those 2 weeks. And it would stay with you forever. I think that'd be fascinating.
Yeah, but if you don't make a lot of money, that would suck when you get back. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, you have to come back to it. But I don't know. I mean, like for instance, like, I would be terrified to jump out of an airplane to, like, skydive. Like, that scares the hell out of me. But I would love to have the memory of it because I think it'd be thrilling at the same time. I don't think I can make myself go up there, but, like, in this fake world, maybe I would,
but
you know?
the cognitive dissonance is just too jarring
Yeah.
for me personally. Like the idea is absolutely fascinating, and it's one of those sci-fi ideas where it's just like the theory of it is amazing, but in application, it can probably fuck you up 100 ways that you're not even considering. And I'm just like, eesh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I think the failings of Recall are the ego trips. I think I would avoid those completely because they present a very, like you said, cognitive dissonance to your reality that you would probably either wake up and be incredibly fucked up, incredibly angry, or maybe even like suicidal. Like you just did like the $1 billion world tour and now you're like back to your minimum wage job. It's like, oh, well, there's nothing left for me now. Fuck. So, I think any of the like normal vacations would be fine. Like you said, just skydiving, for example, for some people would be a blast to do that. Or being able to do like a deep sea dive somewhere would be pretty cool. Or even traveling to areas that are not safe for Americans now, due to like, various political nonsense. But doing a Recall trip to go there through someone else's memories who's lived there and can show you around, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that. Yeah, the ego trip is absolutely where you just completely fuck your life up. But just like you going on a trip, your mind can rationalize that. It's just like, I went on an all expenses paid trip somewhere and that happened. And it's still me. I just had those experiences. I think I'd do that. Yeah.
It'd be like winning like one of those on a game show because I mean that could happen, or like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want to be a billionaire though.
Yeah. What do you make of the animatronics and the effects of the film? And do you think it's a fair vision of our future?
Are we talking about the Chucky-like doll mutant Quaid or Quato? Because that's terrifying, and I hope we never see that.
That fucked me up the first time I saw it, dude. No lie.
Oh,
I was
Yeah.
not prepared. Especially the way the actual actor, like the top head, like loses consciousness.
Like,
so
when-
that is sick.
Yes.
Second form. I'm like, bruh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
And the taxi, like, because we're getting to that point, I think those are going to be a thing.
Self-driving cars.
Yeah, but if they have that terrifying robot thing in there, I am never going to ride one of those.
Fuck me, dude. Hope you enjoyed the ride. This fucking like demonic thing that's burning in flames. After it
Oh my
deadass tried to run Arnold Schwarzenegger over when he skipped out on his bill. Fuck that. Absolutely not.
Oh shit.
It's still better than the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics trying to drive you around, Ryan.
Yeah, very much so. I'll be like, nah, I'll walk, dude. It's 30 miles. I don't give a fuck. I feel much more safe walking.
Oh man. I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept of, like, if we colonize Mars, you'd have to live in this like bubble type thing because that you couldn't breathe the atmosphere. I think that's kind of a realistic look of if we ever did that on a different planet that doesn't have the same type of atmosphere as us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'd be realistic that they would, try to mine, whatever that type of thing. I'm trying to think what else.
I mean, it's like Minecraft. You'd have to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the idea of corporations really being the only entities with the funds enough to actually do a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
And so corporations end up just owning the people who decide to go out into space. That's definitely something that's been explored in sci-fi a lot of times, and I think it's very, very realistic, and it's really fucked up, but I love it.
I mean, we already have something like that with what's his name, Tesla, and all that stuff going on.
Like, that's a hell of an investment. They got to make the return somehow, right? Right?
Yep.
All expenses
Exactly.
paid. You just have to work for the colony for 30 years. Oh, fuck.
We just can't pump in free oxygen. They have to
Yeah,
work for
the
it.
air's not a human right. I mean, come on. Nobody asked you to come to Mars. You decided to do this. So, yeah, you got to pay for your air and your water.
Would air be a human right on Mars that has no air? I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm sort of playing devil's advocate here, but think about it though. If there's no air to start with, like realistically speaking, do you have a right to air when it's not even there?
Well, I think it would be like resources that we pay for, on a monthly basis, like owning a house. Like you pay for electricity, you pay for, you pay for your water, even though you need water to live.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, I steal my water from the sky. Thank you.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, I think it would be like a paid utility, so to speak.
Yeah, and as fucked up as that would be, it does make sense from a business standpoint because, like you said, it's not a naturally occurring substance on the planet, and so it costs money and resources to bring that into play. Granted, it should absolutely be on the corporation that's having you work there to pay for that because you can't work if you can't fucking breathe.
Man, isn't capitalism just great?
It really is. That's what I love. That's what I love about sci-fi, and I kind of go on rants to my girlfriend about it when we watch stuff like that. But what I consider to be true sci-fi goes beyond just oh, look at this futuristic thing. But it's more what does this if these things were true, what does that show about human nature and how humanity adapts in light of that change? That's what I love about really in-depth sci-fi, and I think that's kind of what puts Total Recall over just being a ridiculous action movie, because it really is that, but it's still bringing up these questions that you really have to consider, like, as a part of the setting itself.
But it also doesn't smack you in the face with
Yeah.
those things either. Like, some movies will, like, bang on about,
No.
like, corporate greed shit. Like, yeah, it's here, but, like, it's not the forefront. Like, it's still the action, the fun adventure happening.
Right.
And this is based off a story by Philip K. Dick, who also did The Man in the High Castle, which that brings up questions too of what if, the Nazis in Japan won the World War II? Like, how does that change everything and change everybody?
What if the Japanese won in World War II? Huh.
Now I gotta watch Man in the High Castle, the series.
I highly recommend it, actually. But it's a good story too that he wrote. Like, they kind of expand on it in the series because it's more of a shorter story. But
I feel like he's known for shorter stories too.
I think, yeah, because this movie is actually based off a short story, and I have a fun fact that you guys missed for this, and I think it actually goes into one of your questions, Aaron. So I'm sorry because you're talking about a sequel to Total Recall. So initially, because this movie was a success, they wanted to have a sequel to it where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character becomes like a law enforcement officer, based on the story that would become Minority Report.
Oh, okay.
The movie Minority Report.
Really?
That was going to be the sequel. Yeah,
Get the hell out of here.
but it was Arnold instead of Tom Cruise. Some of the story elements changed, but that was going to be the sequel.
Oh, and that's really cool because they've already set up that the mutants have psychic abilities. Yo. Okay. That's actually interesting.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
Interesting.
Yeah, because that's also based off a story from Philip K. Dick. So the Minority
I'm very
Report
curious
is.
why they didn't go that direction then. Like, that would have actually been a very easy slam dunk for him.
I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I think they wanted to make it a kind of original story and not tie it back since they didn't have Arnold in it. Which is a shame because, like Ryan said, I think it would have been really cool to explore that. Like, that's what it turned into with the mutants and the psychic abilities and all that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, just because on the grounds that then lends credence to the fact that then all this stuff, it really did happen.
Yes, that too.
Here's my take. While I really find the concept of linking those two stories interesting, I'm kind of also glad that they didn't, because I think this is a movie that absolutely lends itself to being standalone. And the fact that we don't get confirmation on whether or not it's a dream is one of the highlights for the movie for me. Like, so you can keep like watching it and like seeing new things and maybe changing your mind on maybe it is a dream, maybe it isn't. No, it's real. Da 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 da. I feel like a sequel would have locked it into one particular answer, and it kind of takes a little bit of the speculation out of it.
Unless, Ryan, hear me out. Unless you do a trilogy, okay? The first one is this one. It sets it up. The second one, he continues doing his thing. He's the cop in Minority Report, sure. The third one, he gets pulled out of the dream, and you realize that you've just wasted 2 movies of him dreaming, and now he's got to fight the corporation to get back in the dream world to make it his reality.
Oh, God. That's bleak.
All right.
That's so bleak.
But it's really on point.
It is very on point, because if you've had 2 movies where you're this, like, badass superhuman secret agent, and then you find out you actually aren't, yeah, I'd probably want to fight someone to go back to the dream too. And then we have the third movie becoming Inception, like, before its time.
But here's the catcher though. Here's the catch though. Then this trilogy gets followed up a little later by another trilogy where people try to escape this dream world.
Oh my God.
Tied into the Matrix, baby.
And then we have the Recall cinematic universe.
To be fair, we did have a red pill.
It's all there.
So.
We're setting the groundwork, baby. We're doing it.
Wait, no, but the red pill's supposed to wake you up, not put you back to sleep.
Yeah, it was opposite.
You know what? They'll change it around in the future movies. It's fine.
They got their own universe. They can do
Listen,
whatever
they
want.
had to redo where Thanos' glove was in the Marvel movies. I think they can figure it out.
Jesus Christ.
Another thing, another movie that's based off of Philip K. Dick work is Blade Runner.
Yeah, I still have not seen Blade Runner as of yet.
The original or the new one?
Either.
Okay.
I have not seen them just yet. I know.
You should.
I really it's on my list of movies that I like really want to watch. I've just never taken the time to actually do it yet.
So maybe for next year, Ryan, if we can continue this podcast anyway, if we go another year, maybe next year should be the wish list year. The year we make a list of movies we have not seen, and that's what we do for the year. We just watch everything we have not seen.
Ooh, that'd be very good. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
2022 will be the oddest year yet.
It'll be our bucket list year. Movies that we have to watch before we die.
Obviously, then the first one has to be bucket list.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do I got here? We kind of jumped around a little bit and answered a bunch of questions at once, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
No, you're
Sorry.
good, you're good.
We're just all over the place. Yeah.
Let's see how we're in time-wise. We're at 41 minutes. I'm trying to think of where I want to go here, because we already talked about, how likely do you think it'll be till we colonize Mars, and will it be corporate run? And we already said yes, it probably will be. We already kind of hinted on the mutants a little bit. Man, we answered all these questions, really. Shit. Okay. Going back to the whole would you take a trip through Recall, question that kind of relates to it, but not really. Not through Recall, what would your ideal vacation be?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Damn. Ideal vacation.
Like, for me, I'm a history guy. I've always wanted to go to Europe and see some of the more historical buildings over there. That's and then travel and eat and see some of the prettier sights too. That's my ideal vacation. Stacia would say going to a beach.
I mean, there's beaches in Europe. It's fine.
I was like, yeah, we can.
You go to Normandy Beach,
but that'd be.
Oh God.
I'm like, you can lay here.
A mortar hit this exact
Maybe not.
spot.
Maybe not. A lot of people died right.
You just sunbathe here while we take in the history. It's fine. It's a 2-in-1.
Yeah.
God.
I don't think
You know how much blood is baked into this sand? Come on.
Oh, it's gotta be disgusting. Yep.
Oh man. I would possibly want to you know what? I like it this is kind of surprising me, but in terms of like actual sightseeing, I would really like to go visit a lot of very prominent cathedrals and like acts of architecture and things based around religion. And the reason why is because regardless of whatever you think about religion, you can go to these places and view these amazing works of structural architecture and art built solely by people who were inspired by religion. So you kind of see you kind of see the span of human potential when we are properly motivated. And so not only does it become a religious experience, but also it kind of restores your faith in humanity. I think that's what I do. Surprisingly deep.
Very deep, actually. I'm going to go the exact opposite direction, actually. So, I have two technical answers. Well, okay, so let me preface this here. So I've always wanted to go to Australia. And while that would normally be the case for my answer, I'm going to actually say I would love to do a return visit to Japan. Bring all the boys, Ryan, Russell, Josh, Nicole, obviously, because we need someone who can speak Japanese really well. Max, get the whole crew there, and just pal around Japan for like 2 weeks. I think it'd be fun.
That'd be good. That'd be real good.
check out Shibuya, hang out at the arcades, go see Kyoto for a little bit, because there's some history shit there, too, that I'd love to see that I didn't get to see the first time. Like, it'd just be a blast, dude.
That's a good pick.
But-
That's a good damn pick.
But the alternate pick would be definitely a trip with the wife somewhere. I know she's always wanted to go to Scotland, because she's got family, and she's got a history out there as well, so I would be down for that, too, so... With that, I think that's all the questions I have. Is there anything you guys wanted to cover that I may have missed?
I don't think so. I think we ran the gamut on this one pretty well.
Yeah, we knocked it out pretty quick.
If you guys remember Mad TV, Will Sasso does a great impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he says lines from this movie, and every time Arnold said a line of, but who am I? Stuff like that. Like, that's what I kept thinking about is the Will Sasso parody. So if you get a chance, look it up because it's pretty damn funny. Because it makes fun of all of Arnold's like movies and what he says in them.
I feel like I've seen his impressions before.
Oh, it's pretty good. But like for me, like this is peak Arnold. Like it's just it has a mix of the action Arnold that I love from like Predator, Commando, like that type of stuff. And then this is right around when he gets into the more comedic roles, which we could talk about those all day because I love it. Like Twins, Kindergarten Cop, like that shit. Like, and this is a good mix between the two. So I think that's why I love it so much.
So I have seen a very limited amount of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. He was popular before my big, dive into deep cinema and shit. So my question to you, Robbie, is if you had to pick like 3 quintessential, like you've got to see these movies, what 3 would you pick?
Yes.
For Arnold?
For Arnold, yes. I'm hoping you have seen Predator, because that would be number 1. Okay, so we'll take that one off the board because you've seen that. So what I would choose is the original Terminator, because Terminator 2, I'm assuming you've seen. Have you seen the original Terminator? Oh, that's basically what put them on the map. So I'd put that. Twins, because it's hilarious with him and Danny DeVito.
Wait,
he does such a good job.
Oh, I'm sold. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. So the premise of that movie is him and Arnold are twins. So just go with that.
Yep.
It was in 1988. It was the first like funny movie he did, and it's actually really, really funny.
It's hard to
great.
fuck up a comedy when Danny DeVito's in it. It really is hard.
Danny's just living life, so it's good stuff. And then a movie that I actually really like is True Lies. It's actually directed by James Cameron.
Oh, you just took me right back to my childhood. I'm so sorry. I yelled, but oh my god, that's so good.
So I would highly recommend True Lies. It has him and Jamie Lee Curtis in it. And like I said, it's directed by James Cameron, actually.
I think I've heard of that one just because I remember reading about James Cameron stuff.
Yep. So it's mid-90s. It's like 94 or 95 when that came out.
Like now that you mentioned True Lies, it's really interesting to think of his filmography growing not only as an action star, but also like people realizing that he's actually very funny as well. Because True Lies is one of those movies where it's an action film, but it's also satirizing action films.
Yes.
It's so fucking hilarious. Tom Arnold's in it. Oh my god.
Yep. He's the sidekick. Yep. So, but that'll give you a good like overview of Arnold, because like Terminator is like him peak, like just action, like robot, like menacing huge dude. Twins is like his, I would say, peak comedic performance, and then True Lies is a good mix between the two.
Fair enough. I'm adding those to my list, especially Twins. That just sounds like it's going to be a good
Absolutely. Time. You have to see Twins, dude. You're going to love it. Danny DeVito is awesome in that
I've
movie.
got a lot of movies tonight that are just like, I got to see these. This is going to be great.
Oh.
Ryan, do you concur? Is there anything else you'd like to add to his list here?
That's a strong fucking list. That's a very strong list. I think the only other thing that I would add to it is the holiday classic Jingle All the Way.
I watch it every year. I have it on DVD if you need to borrow it.
It's him
Sinbad.
and Sinbad as fathers trying to get the last action figure for their kid for Christmas.
I've heard about that.
So
Yes.
good.
And it's one of, unfortunately, R.I.P. Phil Hartman's last movies.
Man. Well, that's on the must.
He's in it too. Yes, absolutely. And he's the kind of nerdy, nosy neighbor of Arnold.
I mean, you can put Phil Hartman in any role, and he generally did really good. So.
Well, he was the glue of Saturday Night Live, as well as one of the best all-time Simpson
Hi, I'm
voices.
Troy McClure. You might remember from such films as.
Yes. Oh man, I miss Troy, and I miss
Lionel Hutz.
Oh,
Yeah.
that just makes me sad. Lionel Hutz is all-time
Absolutely.
character.
He is,
All
but
time.
he is Saul Goodman before Saul Goodman was a thing. Well, that is all I have for today's
man. All right.
questions. So we'll just let you guys know. You can email us directly. You can also follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook. I didn't mention that last time, but don't worry, I mentioned this time. And guess what, guys? We do have a Tumblr, a Twitter, and a Facebook. Unlike certain film critic associations, who will not be named. Because they're not important enough to be named. They're not good enough. We're better than them. And Ryan, if they want to email us directly about their suggestions for movies to check out, or if they want to tell us about how we're better than the Iowa Film Critic Association, where can they email us at?
They can email us. Open your mind. Sorry, I fucking blacked out there for a second. They can email us at evacstation@gmail.com.
Indeed. This is the part where we rank the movie from platinum to trash and all the colors in between. Gentlemen, where do you want to rank this movie?
Oh god, I want to give it a platinum on pure nostalgia, but I really shouldn't.
So bad.
Really shouldn't.
I want to too, and I know it's not. It's
like
not
a
platinum
personal
movie.
platinum. Like it's a platinum in my heart.
Yeah.
but not objectively.
Oh God, what would I actually rank this? That's tough. I gotta think about this for a second. Give me a
Okay,
second.
I'm gonna say oh fuck. Okay, overall, I'd rate this a very strong silver. If you're just in the mood for 90s action and just a look at the way movies used to be done, I think it's fantastic. You're gonna have a fun time with it because it's balls to the wall and it's gonna keep you laughing, but it also has enough of a sci-fi edge to it to keep it interesting on top of being ridiculous. So I think it's a very strong silver.
Okay.
I'm still gonna give it a gold. I don't
Do
care.
it, man. Do it.
It's an absolute classic to me. I love this movie, and oh man, I might watch it again. I had so much fun.
It's definitely fun. It definitely has a good sci-fi bend to it. I would probably concur with Ryan. I'm probably gonna shoot for silver. I have seen.
Okay.
I've seen other sci-fi films that I think hit the kind of stuff it's going for in the head a little bit stronger, but this still is a very good time. Still very fun, and still recommend checking it out.
Good choices. Good choices. I agree with
Yes.
these. I agree with these. It's a platinum in my heart. I was
Exactly.
so uninterested in work while watching this. Like I was so rude on chats. I just didn't give a fuck.
Well, Ryan,
I'm busy.
I mean, it's more anything more interesting? Is there anything that's not more interesting than work?
Yeah, but generally I can fake it. This one I just straight up did not care. It was so hard to focus at all.
Well, speaking of lacking of focus, tune in next week when we'll be doing Space Jam: A New Legacy.
God damn it.
If our cards have worked out correctly, we will have special guests Aaron and Nicole, and maybe more. Who knows? We'll see. But until then, we will see you after the credits.
Bye.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or save it, only dreaming. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Now I'm in a whole new world with you. Get to the chopper.